It's 1789. Europe is stable. Monarchies are thriving. Nothing is about to change forever. On August 15th, 1769, a baby was born on the island of Corsica, which France had bought the year before. Convenient. His mother, Letizia, was the most determined woman in southern Europe. His father looked slightly overwhelmed. This was accurate. At 9, he was sent to French military school. He was Corsican. The other students were not kind about this. They threw things at him, called him foreign. He ignored all of it and stared at maps instead. At 16, his artillery scores were exceptional. Everything else, average. His height, not discussed. Then 1789, the French Revolution. The king arrested, the army in chaos. Napoleon watched and thought, finally. He volunteered immediately. The war that horrified France was, for him, an opportunity. Toulon, 1793. The British occupied the harbor. French generals had no plan. A 24-year-old walked in and pointed at a hill. He was right. The British ran. Napoleon was promoted to general at 24. Then he met Josephine. He wrote her letters, many letters. The mailbox could not keep up. 1796, Italy, a broken French army. One general who had everything to prove. He gave a speech. The army transformed. Then he beat 5 separate Austrian armies in one campaign. Austria surrendered. Napoleon was 27. He had conquered northern Italy. He was just getting started. 1798, Egypt. He brought scientists, artists, and 40,000 soldiers to cut Britain's route to India. Then Admiral Nelson destroyed the entire French fleet at the Battle of the Nile. Napoleon was stranded. He received word that France was collapsing at home. He made a decision immediately. He left Egypt. Secretly, he returned to Paris, a hero. The government was more concerned than the public. Correctly. November 9th, 1799. He walked into Parliament with soldiers. Politicians dove out of windows. It took 20 minutes. 3 consuls were created to run France. Napoleon was one of them. The other 2 were decorative. He rewrote French law from scratch. The Napoleonic Code. 40 countries still use versions of it today. France voted to make him consul for life. 99.7%, yes. He organized the vote. December 2nd, 1804. Notre Dame Cathedral. The Pope present. Napoleon picked up the crown and put it on his own head. Every major European ruler looked at France, now labeled Empire, and decided they had a problem. He planned to invade Britain across the Channel. Then Nelson destroyed his fleet at Trafalgar. October 1805. The French Navy, gone. Britain, untouchable by sea. Napoleon needed a new plan. Austerlitz, December 2nd, 1805. His coronation anniversary. His greatest battle was ready. He deliberately weakened his own right flank. The Austrians rushed it. He destroyed their exposed center. 2 emperors walked toward him in defeat afterward. Napoleon stood immaculate. The sun rose behind him. 1807. He met Tsar Alexander on a raft in a river. They divided Europe between them, like reasonable people. At its peak, his empire covered most of the continent. His brothers sat on thrones across Europe. He blockaded Britain economically. Merchants found holes in it immediately. His eye twitched. Josephine couldn't have children. He needed an heir. He divorced her. He reportedly cried. She definitely did. Spain. He replaced their king with his brother. Spanish citizens picked up weapons immediately. 250,000 French soldiers were tied down in Spain for 6 years, against fighters they could never quite find. A British general named Wellington arrived. He never lost a battle. Napoleon now had 2 problems. 1812. Russia stopped cooperating with the trade blockade. Napoleon's solution: invade with 685,000 soldiers. 1807. He met Tsar Alexander on a raft in a river. They divided Europe between them, like reasonable people. At its peak, his empire covered most of the continent. His brothers sat on thrones across Europe. He blockaded Britain economically. Merchants found holes in it immediately. His eye twitched. Josephine couldn't have children. He needed an heir. He divorced her. He reportedly cried. She definitely did. Spain. He replaced their king with his brother. Spanish citizens picked up weapons immediately. 250,000 French soldiers were tied down in Spain for 6 years, against fighters they could never quite find. A British general named Wellington arrived. He never lost a battle. Napoleon now had 2 problems. 1812. Russia stopped cooperating with the trade blockade. Napoleon's solution: invade with 685,000 soldiers. He marched north. A royal army came to stop him. He walked toward them alone and opened his coat. They joined him. March 20th, 1815. Napoleon entered Paris. The king left so fast he forgot his luggage. June 18th, 1815. Waterloo. His plan: defeat Wellington before the Prussians arrived. He waited for dry ground. The British line held all day. He kept attacking. It kept holding. Evening. The Prussians appeared on the horizon. His Imperial Guard charged one final time. They were repulsed, for the first time ever. The French army broke and ran. Napoleon was swept along with them. It was over. He surrendered to the British. They sent him to St. Helena, 1,200 miles from anything in the South Atlantic. He spent 6 years writing his memoirs on that island, rewriting history, making himself the hero. May 5th, 1821. Age 51. His companions sat beside him. His last word was France. In 1840, France brought his remains home. Millions lined the streets in silence. The Napoleonic Code still exists in over 40 countries today. His law outlasted his empire. Public schools, central banking, the metric system spreading across Europe. Also his. 60 major battles, 43 won, by a commander who was largely self-taught. The famous portrait shows him on a white horse crossing the Alps. He actually used a mule. He ordered the painting anyway. Historians still argue: liberator or dictator? Hero or tyrant? Both camps have strong cases. He reinstated slavery in Haiti and French colonies after it had been abolished. This is part of his legacy, too. He sold Louisiana to America for $15 million. He needed the money for wars. Jefferson nearly fainted with joy. He was not unusually short, 5 feet 7 inches, average for his era. British propaganda made the world think otherwise. It worked. His greatest weapon wasn't his army. It was his mind. He could hold entire campaigns in his head. His wars spread nationalism across Europe, which led to German and Italian unification, which led to a great deal more. French became the language of diplomacy for 150 years. Because of him, Wellington was asked who the greatest commander in history was. He said Napoleon. His greatest enemy said it. Every major military leader after him, Wellington, Patton, Eisenhower, de Gaulle, studied Napoleon obsessively. He was terrified of cats. He wrote a romance novel at 26. He once lost a rabbit hunt badly. He was human. When Josephine died in 1814, Napoleon, on Elba, locked himself in his room for 2 days. The wars cost between 3 and 6 million military lives, possibly more. This is what empire costs. The Arc de Triomphe, the Louvre as a public museum, French road systems, all still there today. Before Napoleon, absolute monarchies across Europe. After, constitutions spreading everywhere. He changed the rules. His Egypt campaign discovered the Rosetta Stone. Egyptology, as a field of study, created accidentally by his invasion. Compared to Alexander and Caesar, historians still debate who ranks first. Napoleon gets serious consideration. Corsica, Italy, Egypt, consul, emperor, Austerlitz, Russia, Elba, 100 days, Waterloo, St. Helena, done. His empire rose and fell in his own lifetime. But the laws, the roads, the code, those stayed. What if he'd won at Waterloo? Historians estimate all of modern European history changes. One battle. They named a psychology term after him. For short people with big ambitions, he was average height. He would be furious. Corsican. French accent his whole life. Became Emperor of France. Sold half of North America. Died on an island. Age 51. Wellington after Waterloo. Someone asked if it was the greatest day of his life. He said, no, the saddest. Except a battle lost. He wrote letters to his son from St. Helena. His son died at 21. Never read most of them. Thanks for watching Overhistoried. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. History is stranger than anyone tells you in school.